Got out some? Okay, play again, please. Alright, go. Pull out a little bit more. Okay, you two kids, we're going to be playing right here. See how we do that. We're a lot closer when I play yours. You see how I did that? If she's the low one, I couldn't get her up, so we had to bring you two down. Now let's play together and see how we are before we start. Ready? Go. Somebody's not playing G. Somebody puts a finger down. Let's do it again. Go. Okay, it's a little better than once.
All right. This is Becky Mammal, Leanne Every, and Jason Carlin, and they're going to play hopscotch.
Let's just take your last note, the C, and let's see if we can play a little better to it. Okay, nice breath now. Ready? Go. Yeah, that's much better. Before you were playing just 2 bars from the end. Dum 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 dum. Really hard to play now. Make sure that you play endings. Endings are so important. When you start in band, you know how you're working. Your director, all directors are the same way. We always work so hard to get you to start together. And then we, as directors and teachers, and then students playing, they neglect the endings. And the endings are so important. That's the last thing the listener hears. Okay, let's talk a little bit. I think you could, anytime you're playing on an ensemble, the best thing to do is you really should, if you had, each person should have his own player, his own stand. Then you sit, and you see my sheet here, something like this, instead of this way. Can you guess why? Why do you think I would rather have you sit this way? Say it again.
Sounds would all come together.
Yeah, it sounds, and you can see each other. You get a little communication going. Then when you start, even though one player starts here, you get a better start. It works better. If you had 4, it'd be like this. 2-2 facing each other, not in a row. I think you play better a little bit. So as you progress, you probably will play in an ensemble again. You know, as you get older, get better. So remember that. Probably my major criticism would be tonguing. You have to tongue now. I get a feel. Did you switch parts on the first part on the repeat? You did. Okay. It sounded like you did. Who was playing the first then? Okay. Usually the first player should be in the middle. It helps. Hold the things together. That's. What are you doing in your mouth when you play the notes? Is your tongue hitting the opening, the reed? It didn't sound like it. Play a couple G's for me, just in the beginning, and just go tongue, tongue, 2, 2, 2. Okay, that's much better. You really weren't doing that. And I put tongue in question mark. I wanted to ask you about it. Make sure we all tongue. And then when you play people, don't be afraid to use a little more wind. Blow a little bit more. And if you blow a little more, tonguing is easier. Tonguing is 3/4 breath support, 1/4 tongue. So that will help. I liked your balance. The balance was good. You know what I mean? But between the 3 players, one player didn't drown out the rest of you. Let's see, player number 1. I have to talk to you. Are your scores, are your cards numbered? Look at bar 11, player 1. See where you go da ha bum in the next measure. You went da ha ha. It's a minor thing, but da ha bum. But it was one slur, and we didn't quite play it accurate. And then I wanted you to play that last note. Let's take and play the last 4 measures. Can we do that? And when you get to the end, give me a nice big fat C in the end. Give it 2 full counts in tune and firm it. All right, here we go. 4 from the end. You all set? You ready? Go. Let's do it again. 1, 2, 3, go. See how much better it sounds when you put that nice ending on. I thought your togetherness was quite good on the sheet here. It's a fancy word of ensemble precision, but I like to call it togetherness. You played as an ensemble. Sometimes I hear ensembles. I hear 3 players. I heard 1 ensemble this time. Your rhythms are okay. The rests were accurate. So most things went quite well. Always work on tone. The notes are the easiest thing to play. Tone is what we have to work on. Tone and tonguing. Tonguing is probably the hardest thing on a reed instrument. You probably have learned that or assumed it up until now. So tone and tonguing, those are the things you really should work on. Those are the easiest things. Okay? Don't be afraid to use a little wind. Especially when you're down low. It tends to fill out the horn much more. Okay, thank you. How does that sound to you? You know how to, I should do this before you play, but I don't want to make you nervous. You know how to do the beats? You know what I mean by beats? Play your note, yeah. And I'm going to play much flatter, much flatter. Hear those beats? Now I'm going to raise my tone. As I raise it, you'll hear those beats get out of it. You just hang on to it. See what I did? Now I'm going to play. I'm going to play sharp to her. Go. Here when I came down, how I hope I got this right where it was. I changed your note back around. See, so if you're tuning, you don't have a piano or a pitch pipe or a director or somebody to help you, you can do that. Everybody can hear those beats. And the more beats you have in there, it distorts the tone. I watched you all when it was so far off when I played flat to her. So you two could hear the beats if you want, and then take one player, then you would just stay with the same player, and eventually you get them all. Let's try it again. Let's try it for half an hour. Let's see where we have to go. It really isn't too bad.
This is Chelsea Colson, Lindsay Keskinen, Michelle Meekenkirchen, and Tina Avalos, and they're going to play Minuet and Trio.
Try to make, what do we talk about? Good things or bad things? What do you want to hear first? I shouldn't say bad. Let's say weak. I like to have the style a little bit. Notice, notice, notice the accents right off the bat, and then there's the staccato marks. So, D, bing, 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 bing. Instead of da 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 da. See, if you play it the way it's written, you automatically come up with the correct style. And I think style is so important. For example, I know you've heard this. You got to play in the right style. There's a march style in the band word. Play in the chorale style. There's a rock style. There's a jazz style. There's all kinds of styles. And here the style sort of should be light and bouncy. I feel. Try not just to play notes. Do something with the notes. Okay. See, I'm talking about the weak things now. I'm going to skip the good things. When we get down to number 9, our ensemble got a little shaky. And the problem was rhythms. Our rhythms weren't exact. Then, when you play like in the beginning, and at 19, when we all play together, that dum, bump, 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 I just fine. Then we come again like at 35, no, it wasn't 35, I beg your pardon, 43. See that? Now 43 is like 9. Well, there's neither line here. But because we're not playing together, once again, our ensemble it got shaky, and it got shaky because our rhythms were not exact. It's always easier to play when we all play the same part and play exactly together. Don't ignore the accents and staccatos, all those little things. They are important. Now, let's talk about some nice things. One thing that you did observe that I thought was handled very nicely was the dynamics. When you started, it says 40. Well, I don't know how long it's loud, but when you came to 9, your piano was very, very nice there, very effective. So you did observe those quite good. I liked your balance. That's a smart thing to put the 2 people in the bottom part, because the bottom part's always the hardest. You know why it's harder to play down low on the flute than it is up high? You ever think why? One reason?
Because you have to drop so low.
Well, you're right. Which register do you play in when you sit in band most of the time? High. So you get a lot of practice up there. You don't get any practice in this register down here. So that helped the balance. So the balance was good. I mentioned your dynamics were good. Let me talk about intonation a little bit. At 9, when we have, everybody has a B flat at 9, correct? And at 19, I'm sorry, 19. And it's in unison then. You know what unison means altogether. And it's in octaves. Parts 3 and 4 are an octave lower than 1 and 2. You know what octaves are, I hope. And you were so nicely in tune there that I had a comment on it. But then the hard thing sometimes is to get the chords in tune. And it's very difficult on flute, because flute are high instruments. We can hear the intonation, baritones, bones, and those people get away with murder down there, but we can't. We flute players, so we can hear. So be very aware of playing in tune on the chords. Just for now, look at number 43. And let me have players, I'm not going to make anybody play by themselves. Let's take player 1 and 2. Let's play at 43. Player 1 and 2 at 43. All set? I'll count. 1, 2, go. Come on, player 1, get up high. Once again. 1, 2, go. Okay, you're accurate. Now I'm going to take players 3 and 4. Player 4 will start, then 3, you're 3, correct? You'll come in. Okay, ready, girls? 1, 2, go. Bum, bum, bum. Now, you can't put any little rests in there. Watch the player 3. Look at 43. 1, da, dum, 1, da, dum, dum, da, 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 da. 3, 1, da, da, dum, dum. You see those? Let's take 3 and 4 together once again. I'm just doing this so you don't have to think about yourself. Ready? Go. 1, 2. Dum, 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 dum. You get ahead. Dum, 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 dum. Try it once again, and let's add player 1 to it. And you listen in the third measure where I'm criticizing you. You have the same rhythm as she does, so it'll help. Okay, you're resting now. All right. Everybody starts right at 43. Go. Now let's put it together. Everybody at 43. You're in now. 43. 1, 2, go. Everybody's part is important, especially with four parts. Have you girls ever played in an ensemble before? Duet, trio, quartet? You're starting the hard way with 4 parts and 5 players. It's much easier to play duets. Do you like to play in an ensemble? You're supposed to say yes. I told one group of flutes the other day, sometimes it's nice you get rid of all the loud drummers and blurry trumpet players and loud trombone players, and we can hear ourselves. How often a band playing low G's and B flats would you hear yourself? So that's why it's fun. That's why it's fun. And there's much good music written for flute ensembles. Duets, trios are just books and books and books of them. And I'm sure that Mr. Norman will have some in the library. I know he does. He doesn't tell me to buy some, but I know he's got some. And it's just sort of fun to play. I always liked to play duets for that reason. And I think it's, besides being fun, I think it's real good training. If 2 people can't play together, if 5 people can't play together, 25 can't play together, 15, 35, you see. Always work on, I'll talk to you individually, always work on individual tones. Notes are the easiest thing to play, believe me. Anybody can play notes, fingers. But the tone is the hard thing. How do you work on tone? You just plain practice. It's monotonous. It's basic. I used to tell my flute players at school, when the rest of the band's warming up, sit there and practice your tone. In other words, practice on the school's time, not your own time. You'd be surprised. You can get 3-4 minutes every day. That's what a band's warming up, just playing long tones. And all registers. When you're playing down low, make the opening in your mouth sort of like this, like a football A shape. Up high, it's more like my fingernail, or just almost the end. It's almost as small as that eraser. So down low, we're like this. Put your head down. Below, up high, you pucker up and make a smaller opening. But be very careful, girls, of your right hand thumb positions. So that right hand thumb is right under there. Your right hand thumb might be a little different than mine, but basically it's between those first 2 fingers. Don't do this. Do it like you're hitchhiking. Don't let it slide out this way. So you say, why? Because someday you're going to be playing much faster notes. You're going to be, it'll hold your technique back. Stiffen your hand up. So I always teach people like this. I say to them, pick up that pencil. How are you going to pick it up? You can't slide your thumb under, can you? There it is. If you have troubles with your thumb, maybe put a little piece of Scotch tape under it. Nobody will see it. Your director won't see it. The person next to you won't. And it reminds you to keep your thumb, the right hand thumb in the right spot. As you're playing, I was checking for fingerings. And I think everybody has correct fingerings. So if that's something, you'll have good starts.
This is Helen Burgess, Mandy Redmond, and Stephanie Driggs. And they're going to play Russian Rondo.
You want to play a note before you start, just to feel the groove, see if we're in tune. Sounds pretty good to me. nice to give him a little hand. When you play in the school band, when you start, I bet your director doesn't say, 1, 2, ready, go, in a concert, does he? Just start. Who's playing the first part? Okay. Why don't you start and go like this as you play. Just watch me now. And start. Let's do the first note. See if you can play the first note together with her. Give her a little look. Okay, do a little more. Boom. So they can come in. Okay, now do it and play a couple measures. Now, we can do better than that. We can do better than that. Do it again. Okay, doesn't that make a nicer performance than this 1, 2, ready, go kind of stuff? And then the player number 1, if the player number 1 is in the middle, it helps a little bit too. And it's easier for you to have more rapport and see each other. So another way to do it is you have, I feel it should have 3 music stands. You stand a little bit. The other 2 players would be. You see that? Like that. Instead of in a row. Okay, I thought you had a real nice sound in these first 8 measures. I liked your sound and your balance. Now, who's playing part 3? Yeah, all right. You had a melody letter A, don't you? What did Mr. Norman tell you to do about it? Play it out. I'm sure he did. You can't be afraid. You have to play it out. And these gals are playing about as soft as they could play, I'm sure. So you just don't be afraid to play it out. And then be careful on your, you know what the word articulation means? Okay, be careful. So you tongue it. Watch what I'm doing. Da 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 da. Tongue tongue. See, you tend to slur too much. Be careful with that. Let's start right at letter A, and we're gonna play it. And we're not gonna count off. She's just playing on the start. Why? She starts in the first beat, and you girls come in the second. And you play much stronger. Okay? Go. No, even more. Even more. Let's do it again. Go. Atta girl, now talk. Keep going. And you know when by playing louder, you use more wind, what happens to your tone? It's better for them. So don't be afraid when you're down low to use more wind. Okay, now, at letter B was like the beginning. I was real pleased with that. Now we're going to go over to letter C. Have these letters marked in your parts? Okay, who's playing part 1 now? I would generally criticize your tonguing here. You can tongue, I believe, better than that. Now you make sure you get it. 2, 2, 2, 2. Just play a couple measures. Do you mind? Okay, go ahead. Blow a little more. It says medium loud anyway. Now see if you can do it. What do the dots over the notes mean? Right. You know. I'm glad you said the right word. You know what staccato means. All right, play that one. Okay. Why do you suppose they put 8 bars of staccato playing in there? Got any idea? I asked you girls are 8th graders, aren't you? Good. I talked to you differently than I talked to you. Why do you suppose the 8 bars of staccato are in there? Anybody guess?
Make it sound different.
You right, but we got the right word. Different. We get a contrast. We get a variety because the strain before it and the strain after is smooth and pretty, aren't they? You did that very nicely. So we have to have the contrast. Without contrast in music, it's nothing. You know, you go to sleep. It's like listening to I was going to say minister. I'll say school teacher. Talks in the same tone of voice all the time. I was waiting pretty soon in class goes to sleep. But I had your attention, didn't I? So you see what I mean? It has to have a contrast. So therefore, you have to play the contrast. Let's everybody play it at C. We're all going to play rather almost like 8th notes. It's that staccato. I'll start you. Ready? Go. And. Dum bum bum. Keep going. Staccato, staccato. Now we get real smooth. say? Is it louder? Say, it's louder or softer? That's what it is. How come you girls don't answer? Yeah, see the contrast, you played the contrast and it was handled very nicely. So that's part of music. Okay, I talked about don't count off. I liked your tone on those piano things. The balance was quite nice. You might think always be concerned with individual tones. If you're not always playing in trios. Tone is the hardest, I tell everybody, is the hardest thing to produce, so you have to practice it. And I talked about player 3 don't over slur there. We got louder. It sounded a lot better, didn't it, I think? You can agree with me, even though I don't mark your card. Intonation was good. I thought your intonation was good. Rhythmically, you played okay. I don't feel there were great note challenges or rhythmic challenges, but you were accurate. So you were only asked to do what the music asked you to, and you did it. Your accuracy was good. Sometimes besides playing the notes, it's what we do with the notes. The right style. I liked your style on the slow, slurred, soft style. But I criticized it in the style at C and criticized the style at A. So make sure you change the style. Here we go back to my contrast, your difference again. And I liked what you did in dynamics. Those were handled very well. I told some of my flute players here today, I said it's sort of fun to play together, get rid of all those loud drums, trumpet players, all those other people. You hear yourselves. And there's much good music written for it. Clarinets, duets, trios, quintets, everything. Ask if you like to do it. I always feel it. Woodwind players who like to play ensembles. Ask them why sometimes just some fun, sit down and play for fun. I feel it's very good training too. I use statement 3 people can't play together, 23 people can't play. All in all, I think you did a nice job. But now we can play better, though, can't we? I'm afraid to play something. If somebody asks you to play something, you have something prepared to play now. Bye.
This is Cindy Jasmine, Jackie Wilcox, and Kurt Whelan, and they're going to play Minuet and